I am Marco Antonio Stranisci, one of the founders of AequaTech, an Italian startup founded in 2023. And thanks to NGI, we were able to develop a prototype, MVP, of a tool for debunking that is called Debunker-Assistant. Before I describe it, I would like to tell really few things about AequaTech. We are an NLP startup that is not easy to be in 2025 in the era of large language model. And so our idea is to create and develop AI-based tools that are aimed at including people that are ignored by the AI world, and to make people better understand what's in the box of AI technologies. So our positioning in this landscape of NLP startup is to provide explainable technologies and a participatory design to develop data and models in the field of natural language processing. And these two positions inspire our two tools and format that we are developing at the current stage. Let's start with the Debunker-Assistant. When we talk about the Debunker-Assistant, we don't want to consider this technology as an oracle, as a yes/no technology, but an AI-driven tool that can guide people in fake news detection. And our idea is to create a glass box that is a technology that takes as an input the URL of a news and provides as an output a multidimensional score that is not only based on the textual level, but it provides a comprehensive analysis of the news. In this sense, more than fact-checking, we are working on information disorder. So all the issues related to the spreading of news that can be also not entirely false, but can be dangerous because they trigger emotional reaction in the readers or problematic behaviors in the readers. The idea is to create an open source community edition that is based on the engagement with journalists, and it's built together with citizens and people who use it in everyday life. So the idea is that having this multidimensional score, and this is how we are developed our first prototype that is in production right now. Here you can insert the URL of the news, and as a result, you obtain a number of multidimensional scores that are the following. The first one is clickbait, which is the semantic distance between the title and the content of the article. Then there is the informal style, which is the presence of stylistic elements in the title that might be misleading. For instance, cap locks, exclamation point, and so on. The effective style is a neural based classifier that identifies the presence of highly emotional contents in the title. And the same is for dangerous style, which identifies the presence of dangerous phenomena in the title, like inflammatory contents, stereotype, or ironic contents. And then there is the readability, which is a metric that tries to catch all the cases in which the page is too simple, maybe for having an aggressive CEO or so on. And in addition to the evaluation, we have the explanation of the neural approaches. So we do not only provide scores, but we also highlight the parts of the text that are considered the most relevant in defining the score. For instance, in this news title, we identified the word abissi as highly ironic and and this word mostly contributes to the classification. But we are still in a, let's say, 0.9 version because we are implementing also network-based features. The idea of only relying on text is not sufficient to understand why and how a website is problematic. So we are also gathering a network of websites starting from a seed of fake news spreaders, and we are building a network to identify features, network-based features, to understand which type of issues are related to sites that are positioned in certain subnetwork of fake news spreaders. And then we are prototyping a conversational engine. So we have all these features. We want to pass them to a large language model and produce explanations and discussion about the news that is inputted in the model. But this is one of the two aspects that we are developing. The other one is the Citizen Dataset Lab, because our idea is not just to provide a technology, but to provide a technology that is tailored to the needs of citizens. And so we are involving citizens in throughout all the pipeline of the creation of our technology. The idea is that we work with them at the collection stage. We ask them to report the problematic news, and so after this reporting stage, we are now in the phase in which we are evaluating with them the news. That is the manual annotation of data that have been gathered in such a way. In other words, we are creating a machine-readable dataset that can be fed to the model to provide explanations about why a news title and its content are problematic. And finally, we are organizing a final event of co-design of the Debunker-Assistant. So every people and stakeholders that have been involved will be invited to provide feedback to us about the annotation stage and identify with them the features for the future implementation of our technology. And that's the two big part of our idea. And that's all for now. So thanks for listening, and I'm here for any questions.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Ioana, and I'm a co-founder of Mindbugs together with Mihai. What we do at Mindbugs Discovery is that we like to think that we navigate text data with confidence. A little bit about us and who we are. So Mindbugs Discovery provides specialists with a state-of-the-art platform for tracking and analyzing this information. The platform is designed to be intuitive and engaging, with AI-powered analytics and dynamic 3D visualization graphs, in which you can explore text data in multiple dimensions. When we started from this information, we started from the fact that it is overwhelming, so it comes from everywhere and it's chaotic. And the people who are fighting it are usually under resource constraints and doing a lot of work in isolation. Also, when you talk about programming skills, understanding big data about this information has a high cost. And this is why we want to empower people to have the available technology. Our solution proposes a clearer understanding of this information, a way to reveal the wider context behind it, and all of this in a trustworthy community where data comes from fact-checking organization. We do advanced algorithm for text navigation and boost the disinformation capacity of organization with cost-effective tools. Basically, our mission is to empower experts against disinformation with artificial intelligence. Right now, I would like to show you a bit about our tool. So here into our tool, we search about the narrative Ukraine does not exist. We can see here the map where this narrative spread and how it looks in each country. So how the narrative changes its shape in France, in Portugal, in Hungary, and so on. Sometimes you cannot identify the country, you can only identify the language, and it's for people from all countries who speak that language. And we have here what kind of fake information are spread in which kind of languages. Also, we have the countries. So each disinformation narrative can have multiple shapes. So they send the same message, but they tweak it so it's more appealing to different groups of person. We see that for this particular narrative, we have 11 different shapes in Russia, 7 in Hungary, and so on. And here we can see the channels which push this kind of narratives forward. In the last part, there is the timeline. So what is happening in the timeline, you can see from our data set, when was the first occurrence of this narrative. So from our data, it shows that it started around 2020, so way before the war. And it started in Russia, and then how it spread in different other regions and how the narrative changed. But this is how you look at the tool if you have a big narrative like Ukraine does not exist. But now I will show you how it looks when you go to a more smaller narrative. So then something which is not so, let's say, popular. I chose drinking children blood and see what kind of fake news. So from here, we see elite consumption. This. Okay. And then we can go to the 3D graph that we created. So this is a new way of exploring text data. So here you can see the disinformation, and you can also look at different aspects of it. For example, what kind of keywords, what kind of language, where it's spread. And here, for example, maybe we are interested in this particular aspect, that this disinformation is spread in Lithuania. And what we can do is we can click expand, and the engine will search for similar disinformation, which is spread in Lithuania. And then we can see what other disinformation is spread in the same area. So basically what you can do is that you can move through text data into multiple dimensions. I will go back a little bit to my presentation. So this is what I've shown you. Now, on this tool, who can benefit from it? So first are governments who need to better understand this information landscape and how it evolves. Businesses who need to track certain narratives, and also fact-checking specialists who need to have a broader picture of this information. I want to talk a little bit about the open source. The NGI was a lot about the open source community, and we care about the open source a lot. So the whole platform is available on GitHub. But more than this, we thought that the platform is quite big, so maybe it's not so usable for different cases. And this is why we decided to make more contributions to the open source community. The first, related to the project contribution was the graph that I've shown you before. So what we did was we took only the graph and created a separate project. It's a smaller project where you can see ontologies in TTL format. You can just upload them and navigate it in 3D. So the whole graph is available for the broader community who studies ontologies and how text data is connected together. This project was already used by the Technical University of Cluj-Napoca for their ontology regarding universities. Also, we created the Mindbugs dataset. Right now, as far as we know, it's the biggest dataset of disinformation claims in Europe. So all the disinformation claims are from Europe, It has over 30K texts, which are annotated. They also include much more than only disinformation. They include location, publication date, language. And this data is particularly designed for tasks for NLP and machine learning. And it is supported by 2 Jupyter notebooks for data exploration in order for the community to access it more easily. And everything is open on Kaggle. As you know, we finished the NGI program last year, but we had made some developments. I think one of the most important presentations was at Francotech, where we had the honor of presenting Mr. President Emmanuel Macron our tool, and we looked together on fake news about him in Europe and how the fake news look. Also, since we worked on disinformation together with Technical University of Cluj-Napoca and the one from Bucharest, we are part of 2 solutions. These solutions are 2-year projects for the Romanian government, in which they are updating their technology in order to improve their services. So we have like a small part in these projects. They are big projects, and we had the disinformation aspect. Last week, we also closed a deal for our first pilot project on B2B area. What we are doing is we explore how we can create more revenue by using the algorithms that we already developed. What we do is that we develop the narrative analysis algorithms, which we use for disinformation, but we change them and we analyze customer feedback, like reviews on Google or on Booking, and we extract the key problems and the key narratives which impact negatively or positively the score of the hotel, so they can improve their customer experience. We have a lot of work in progress, so we are working to a second version of Mindbugs Discovery, which is more for the general public. We have 2 research papers in progress, one on the extraction of narratives and one for the dataset. We published the dataset before the paper, and now we really need to write the paper. And also we are exploring more funding opportunities, so we are actively looking for support, especially for the disinformation case, to make it free and available for the general public. This is the team behind the project. And yeah, thanks a lot for listening to my presentation.
So, hello, I'm Yolina, part of Identrics. It's really rare for me to be in a situation where more than one people deals with propaganda and disinformation. And usually when we start our presentations, we need to explain the fact that propaganda at the moment is a very big thing. But I feel like maybe I should skip this now and just go to our solution. Just to briefly say that the hype with propaganda, disinformation that we are witnessing, especially now, is happening together with, alongside another significant leap in the artificial intelligence, the so-called large language models. Of course, the models like the one that are behind ChatGPT, for example, that everyone is using at the moment. We all know that the technology has numerous beneficial applications, from automating customer service to writing emails, transforming unstructured information into structured one, and so on and so on. But they also pose significant risks when misused. And in fact, one of the most concerning instances of misuse of large language models is their potential to generate propaganda on a massive scale. Synthetically generated content can be created rapidly and in large volume with minimal oversight. The LLMs can message to specific audiences, mimic individual styles, even generate responses in real time. And in a recent example, Russian operatives used nearly 1,000 fake AI-generated accounts on the X platform, the Twitter one, as most people know it, to impersonate Americans and spread propaganda which highlights their real-world impact of these tools. This is just one instance where AI is used to bolster specific propaganda efforts, employing advanced technologies to generate and distribute disinformation at scale. Recent research shows that just for a year between 2002 and 2023, the presence of AI-generated news articles or mainstream websites increased by more than 55%, and spreading disinformation actually surged by almost 500%. So those are kind of awful numbers, and definitely they are the fact checker's nightmare. If we want to fight all of this thing, of course, the right thing to do is media literacy. We already touched on this topic. The best case scenario, it would be for the people who are reading the news articles, the social media posts, to be able to judge for themselves whether something is disinformation or propaganda or something like that. But media literacy is an educational thing, and as an educational thing, it's incredibly slow. So what we are aiming to do in the meantime, until we reach this educational level to be able to judge that something is false by ourselves, we are trying to propose some technological resilience instruments that are helping people to rely on more reliable information. And one such tool that we are developing is WASPer. Actually, this is the project that was funded by the NGI search program, and it is a tool that detects synthetically generated propaganda. This is propaganda written by an AI model, like the case that I showed you a couple of slides ago. Basically, the WASPer thing is a pipeline of several algorithms. First, you have an algorithm that detects or discovers if a social post that you input is generated by human or by machine. If it is generated by a machine, it goes to a second step, which is the propaganda filter. It's a model that detects whether the text that you input is containing propaganda or not. And if it is classified as propaganda containing, then it goes to a third step, another model that classifies in a multi-label manner what type of propaganda technique the text has. The good thing is that it works in several languages. Currently, it works in Bulgarian and in English, and at the moment we are adapting it to work with the biggest European languages like Spanish, German, and French. Just let me see whether if I change. I want to show you a video of the tool, but it looks like I cannot share it, maybe in this way.
We can see ourselves.
Okay, what about now?
Now we see, I think,
okay,
models Hugging Face tool.
Yeah, exactly. So before showing you a brief video of the demo of the tool, I just want to mention that the models, the propaganda detectors and the propaganda techniques detectors, they're open sourced. Everyone can download them from Hugging Face. If you just write down Identrics, you will see those four models, and you can use it for free on your infrastructure if you want. And here, this is a demo version of the tool. Basically, if you input something like a simple text, this is me writing, this is a simple text, the demo will start evaluating whether it's human-generated or machine-generated. If it is human-generated, it will stop at this stage. Of course, you can copy paste a machine generated text, or you can choose one from the drop down menu. I for sure know that this one is containing propaganda and it is synthetically generated. And it shows you the outputs of the 3 algorithms. It's about the European Union being in trouble because of the euro that you use, something like that. As you saw on the clip, it tells you that in fact it is human generated with a specific, it is machine generated with specific confidence, then it contains propaganda, again with specific confidence, and the propaganda techniques with their probability in accordance. So our next steps, or this tool can be used for several different perspectives. We already touched upon the potential users. This is media monitoring platforms, journalists, educational applications for researchers, people in academia, for PRs and content moderators that are trying to track propaganda and disinformation narratives and so on and so on. And our next plan is to incorporate it, integrate it with a platform that we have. This is Identrics Annex platform, and it's a paid one, which has numerous components in it. It has the Explore component that contains information, news articles, social media posts from all over the world on many, many different languages that you can just search through. It's everything in one place. For example, here I just wrote down fact check. I selected content in English and from the UK, and for just today we have 4 hits of documents containing this this thing right here, fact check. We also have the reports section of the platform that gives you a visual overview of some data that you have selected from the Explore model. In this case, it's data referring about foreign soldiers on the Ukrainian front, which is a big narrative here in Bulgaria, where we are based in. Just for a couple of days, we have thousands of documents that are talking about this. It gives you the dispersion into data types, whether it's content from news, blog posts, Telegram channels, and so on and so on. It gives you the sentiment, the progression of the narratives, the most mentioned people and organizations, what is the percentage of authored articles, what is the topic dispersion in this case. And here we also plan to add the WASPer model, telling you what is the percentage of content that actually contains propaganda, and so on and so on. And I think that it's okay to end here.